All right, hello and welcome back to the third and final segment of the first episode. And so we're going to finish this episode just by going into a couple of our other childhood memories and some of the other things that Michael and I have been through and done together. But first, I want to go back to talking about Ghost in the Graveyard, because that was just such a fun childhood memory that we had, and it was one of those games where it was so fun because of the thrill and exhilaration that you'd get of being like scared, because you would just get freaked out when people would just come out of the dark out of nowhere and start chasing you, and we would be chasing each other around in like pitch black darkness in our neighborhood and everything. So that was really fun.
That was actually one of my favorite times, and one of the things that I really remember about the first house that we lived in this house that actually backed up to a forest, and I don't know if you remember, Brandon, but sometimes we actually used to play back there too. We'd play Ghost in the Graveyard, and we would like hide in the trees even, and like on top of sheds and stuff. Unfortunately, I think we had to shut that down at some point because one of the neighbors had got too scared or something when somebody jumped out of the tree at her. But for us, it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And I remember we would also play things like flashlight tag and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Which these things would involve like flashlights. But for my birthday, usually what we would do is we would like camp outside, and we would play these games all night. So we would have, set up tents and stuff and tell ghost stories and, be in our sleeping bags, and people would be like running around trying to like scare each other. So these are a lot of the things that we remember, or I remember as
I remember
in childhood and stuff. So
those are fun. We played all sorts of different types of games back then. But one of the other big memories that we share is when we went on this big long trip, this vacation with our grandparents, and our grandparents have this. They used to have this motorhome. It was a different one though than the one they most recently have.
They've had a couple. They've had like one where you sleep above them and stuff.
Was that the one we went?
I don't remember. But
okay, well they had this one that was awesome. It had this bed over top of the cab, the main
driver,
the driver's cab,
and you could like watch while they're driving and stuff, and look out onto the street. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Out on the street and everything, and sleep up there. And I think we had wasn't there like a TV up there or something, or was it facing the other way? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was on like the other wall, and you could like watch TV while they were driving and stuff.
Watch a movie or something.
Yeah, but we went to Washington D.C.
Yeah,
and
we went to a lot of different places.
Yeah,
Colorado,
separate times.
Washington D.C. Where else? I mean, we were all over the place.
Yeah, but I remember when we were in Washington D.C., we were staying out in Virginia. And I think one of the first times I ever had a girl hit on me was with Brandon. We were just like swimming around in this pool.
I think it was two girls, right?
Yeah, there was two girls. And we were just like swimming around talking when two girls just like jumped over our heads. And for the next like 7 days, they were like obsessed with following us around. Yeah. I think they were kind of bored being there.
Yeah, looking back at it, I kind of feel sorry for them because they actually lived there at this campground.
Yeah.
And probably had nothing else to do but to, make friends with all the campers that would come there and leave after a week. So
it's kind of probably be a rough way to live and try to make friends.
That was super fun.
Yeah. And then the time that we went to Colorado, I remember, I think that was actually the first time I flew by myself, because I think you flew separately or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But then we went like hiking up in the mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't remember how that worked out.
Which was a lot of fun. But those were two things that we got to do with my mom's parents, who were who we would call Grandma Sue and Papa Rod. But then we have other parents or grandparents.
We have a lot of grandparents.
Yeah, we have a lot. Yeah. So
some other grandparents that were
Grandpa Crescent.
Yeah.
who would take us actually hunting.
Yeah,
Brandon
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, Brandon didn't go with
Camping
me on this.
and hunting and stuff.
But when we would turn, I don't know, how old were we? Like 13 when we would turn 13?
Yeah,
or
something
going to
like
high
that.
school.
Yeah. Something like that.
Our grandpa would take us out on the Survivor weekend. And
Right.
basically what he would do is he would prep you for a week by giving you videos and documentation on things that you're supposed to read up. And
quiz us.
Yeah,
and give us
quiz
a
us.
test. But the real
For,
test.
the real test is where he basically just, takes you in a van, drives up into the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin, and the way that he did it for us is when me and Sean, his brother, got to Wisconsin, he actually just got us out of the car, and when we got out of the car, he just drove away, and he was like, "Okay, you guys have to find the car now," and we're like, "What is that's not."
He wasn't
That's
quite
not
that
a real
harsh.
thing.
Yeah, he wasn't that harsh on us.
So we spent all afternoon trying to find his car, which was in the middle of a forest, which was ridiculous. But the major thing that we remember is the second day that we were there. After we set up our campsite and we got everything ready, and we went to bed. And when we woke up, we look around the tent, and there's actually just ticks and spiders crawling all over the tent. So we had a terrible experience. We had to check ourselves, and my grandpa acted like it was normal. He's like, we just sleep, and then when you wake up, you just burn them off, and then you're good to go.
Just burn off your skin.
I didn't really take it that well, as well as he was kind of saying it. We slept in the car.
Yeah.
The next night. So what about your experience?
Yeah, ours wasn't quite that harsh. We went more towards the winters when we went camping with him, and so there weren't any real bugs or anything that we had to deal with. But it was a super fun experience, actually, because I went with your brother, Andrew, who's actually more my age. We're about the same age, so we went together with him and another cousin, and we had a great time. We went through some of the different survival.
Isn't that convenient?
Yeah, we were more fortunate. We did a couple of different survival things. Grandpa tried to get us lost, but it didn't really work or do much because we walked maybe. I
think he learned from his mistakes with you.
Yeah.
And he tried to make it tougher for us.
Because we walked maybe 500 yards away from our campsite, and we walked in a straight line and everything. So all we did is just turned around, came right back the same direction. So, that was a pretty cool experience.
Did he make you build your own shelter and stuff? And start your own fire?
Yeah, actually he did, but we didn't actually use the shelter or anything.
Yeah.
We built it, and he gave it a quick look over and gave us the thumbs up, the A-OK. But
because I remember we were doing that the second night, and since we had such a bad experience with all those bugs, we were kind of freaking out, trying to touch all those twigs and make them into a nice house to build.
Yeah. I think we ended up using a tarp for ours or something.
Oh, that's cheating. Well, I guess actually we did cheat too. Somebody brought matches, so we were supposed to light a fire with just using flint.
Yeah.
But somebody brought matches, so when he wasn't looking, we kind of just lit the fire.
Can't remember what we did. I think we had a space blanket or something though that we used for the tent, or for it was a tarp space blanket thing or something. It was supposed to be super warm or something.
Yeah.
But
anyways, so that's kind of a little bit about our experiences with our grandparents, I guess. We have a lot more stories. They're very interesting people. We'll probably cross those, as we're talking about other topics as well.
For your sake, we'll cut it short this
we could talk forever.
We'll just cut it out here, and hopefully in the next coming up episodes, we got a couple other things we want to talk about. I think for the next few ones, we just want to talk about some of our favorite things to talk about, some of our favorite interests and stuff. And so it'll probably just be us two talking about some of the things we're interested in. And then as it goes along, we'll try to bring in other people who can share some of their experiences and stuff with us as well.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so for the next episode, actually, we're going to be talking about video games.
Yeah.
And we'll probably try to talk a little bit in general about video games, and then maybe
kind of
touch on a couple different of our favorite video games, maybe.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about these topics, too, is that they're really broad topics, right? There's a lot to cover. There's no way we could do it all in one episode.
So we'll revisit.
Right. We'll come back to some of these topics. So if there's something you guys really want to talk about, maybe we'll do an episode on that, and then a couple of weeks down the road or something, we'll do another episode of that if it's a really popular one. If there's a lot to cover. So, Michael, is there anything else you want to share before we head out? Then.
Well, no, I don't think so.
Any more plugs, man?
Any more plugs? Well, if you want to go to my website, it's e215.net, which is the startup that I started.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just E215 Inc.
Okay.
We could talk more about that later, though. So
if you guys do want to get in touch with us, you can email us at what was the email address that we
it's
came up
the name of the channel.
Craic
TV. at gmail.com.
CraicTV@gmail.com.
Yes.
Right, cool.
Just comment below, or message us. Anyway, we probably will be able to see it because we're online a lot. So.
All right. Cool.
All right.
That should do it for this episode then, and we'll see you in the next one.
Okay. See you guys later.